River Phoenix plays the son who wants to quit this life on the run. An extraordinary young actor. Remember him in Mosquito Coast and Stand By Me? But unlike those roles, this part, he says, is close to his real life. He grew up in a large, very close family, traveling from town to town. In fact, he started acting at 9, singing on street corners with his sister in Caracas, Venezuela.
You grew up, I was like, Caracas, Venezuela? You spent some time as a little kid?
Caracas, Venezuela, Mexico, Florida, Arizona, a number of places. A lot of different places.
Together with a family, and a big family you have.
Yeah, a real big family. By the time I was 9 years old, I got to Los Angeles, and then since then I've basically been living out of Los Angeles, but never in one house. We're always moving, like every year we move. We don't want to make a commitment. We don't want to live in one place for too long. And we're looking for that dream home that we'll eventually find. And
now you say we, meaning you and your family, but aren't you getting to the age when, like your character, it might be time to...
Don't say that, please.
Okay,
don't say
I won't.
That. I'm trying to ignore that about me getting old. God.
I wouldn't say old.
I just turned 17. That means I have one more year and then I'm out on my own. I'm always going to be living with my family, I think. Or I'll use them as like a base camp, and then I'll branch off and do my own little thing.
Everyone on this set, everyone has said the same thing. You're terrific. You're a terrific actor
God.
and a wonderful kid. That's true.
Really?
Everyone, yeah.
How much did you pay him?
That's true.
Wow. Well, I try to be a nice guy. I mean, I don't try. I'm not a brown nose or anything, but I don't know. It's just my nature. And I'm just trying to hold on to what I have, and I have a basically stable upbringing, and I think that I'll do okay if I stay real, you know, and if I remember that we're all just flesh and blood. That's it.
River Phoenix has been described as one of the most natural actors in Hollywood, as evidenced in films like Stand By Me or Running on Empty here. Indeed, the director of this movie about a radical family hiding out in the midst of middle America, Sidney Lumet, says the young actor is incapable of playing a false note. That natural quality was easier in Lumet's story of a family constantly on the move, since River's own background involved a lot of movement. I met with him in New York and asked about that life.
Yeah, I've been in constant motion basically since I was born.
That has an effect on the way people deal with other people, I've always noticed. In fact, I've always rather envied people that moved around, people that were in army families or something. They seem to be able to fall into any group of people and know how to get along.
Yeah, I know a few Navy brats myself, and it's amazing how opposite they are from their fathers, because they've moved around so much. They've had a chance to, you adapt. I think that's a big part of it, and you become, I guess, versatile, which is really nice.
In your own life, were there moments where you had to leave one place, you hadn't been there that long, but you'd formed a couple of attachments, but it's time to move on? How'd you handle that? Did you not let yourself get too attached?
I think that is a big part of it. You don't get too involved. You kind of stay on the surface of things as far as relationships, and you're also ready to move at any point, whether you're knocked out of the house because there's too many kids and the landlord can't handle it, or it's because financial reasons, or it's just time to move on, whatever it is. It's nice though having the family unit and the support.
That's the flip side, I suppose. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you have to keep things fairly near the surface to protect yourself from getting too hurt, you do have to have something that's deeper, and that would tend to be more than the average person, I suppose, than the family?
Yeah, it is. I think the family and yourself. In many ways, you rely on your imagination, and you dig deeper into your mind for company and for security. And I think it helped me creatively as far as music goes. As far as playing guitar, I would go into a room and play for hours and really get involved in this little fantasy world of music and the images I created in my mind, and that sparked a lot for me.
In Running on Empty, music's very important to your character.
Yeah.
And obviously you had no problem with that. What about the type of music?
I enjoy classical. I enjoy a lot of different music, but I'm more into the. I like rock and progressive rock and fusion and jazz. But,
River, thank you for giving us your time.
hey, thank you. I love PBS and this show. I thought I'd say that. It's great.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
With River Phoenix in New York, I'm Patrick Stoner.
What was the most difficult thing about doing this film as far as you were concerned?
Scenes that involved emotion and technical moves with the camera.
E.T. was with the late 80s heartthrob the week the iconic movie first came out, and just one day after the late actor turned 16.
I have a lot of fun now, and it's 86.
He opened up about his role and how his dad was just like his character, bad boy Chris Chambers.
He was trapped inside of this reputation that he was born with, and that's that he was one of those Chambers kids. And he was like the bad kid in town, and he stole, and he didn't want to, you know, he wanted to, you know, climb above that, and he just couldn't, because it was a small town and everyone knew him.
How much of you is in the character Chris, do you think?
Besides my looks, and in a way, I am kind of like a peacemaker, I'd say. And I don't know, much of me isn't in the character, but I know my dad is in the character a lot. Because my dad had the similar lifestyle that Chris had. My dad kind of grew up in a small town, and he was like the bad kid, juvenile hall. He went through all of that kind of stuff. And he's told me about all of it, so in a way I felt really close to Chris.
How do you feel tonight?
Oh, well, I feel kind of surprised and excited.
Is this your first nomination? It's not the first time that your work has been acknowledged, or is it?
Well, I had received a critic award, which was pretty great.
As new generation award.
But as far as being, you know, televised and all this stuff, yeah, it's the first time.
Well, good luck to you. We're rooting for you. What are you rooting for tonight?
What am I rooting for? Just a good evening, good feelings. That's it. Thank you. We'd come out to Los Angeles to make it, and at the time I was 9 years old and my sister was 7, and we wanted to be recording artists, which was a bit far-fetched, I suppose, because we were somewhat amateur. Because we were young, we were novelty and cute and talented, but it was, you know, it just wasn't album material. Then later on, we got into, you know, commercials for financial reasons, and acting became, you know, an attractive concept, so we pursued it. I always liked it, but I got real serious about it right after a film called Explorers, and I had been in a motorcycle accident in the dirt field behind where I was racing around. I was sitting around a lot, thinking and getting very serious about life and realizing, you know, how important it was to me. Then I got the Stand By Me audition soon thereafter, and I kind of limped in, which kind of helped me for the part in a way, you know, because I kind of had this kind of tragic, you know, air to me, you know, because I was kind of bummed out about this. It really upsets me, and I'm basically upset at myself for being as naive and gullible as I have been in the past, as far as being intimidated by, you know, the stylists with the wardrobe and the hairdos and the poses and the this and that and all this stuff that isn't me, and what it does is it makes you like an image. I've known Martha since Mosquito Coast. You know, we get on really good, and she's, you know, we have a lot of the same beliefs and stuff, so as far as feeling comfortable, it was fine. They're not nearly as defensive or protective as the parents in Running on Empty are. My parents are very different. I mean, they are very aware of how things change, and there will always be a place at you know, the home front to crash if I need it, and I'm, as of now, very happy, and whatever happens, happens. Press is always looking for a little twist to a story, and what I've learned is it all turns out very superficial, so you need to become what they want. You need to give what they put out. You do take home, you know, these characters, and you grow out of them, you know, like anything, like any stage in life. I'm not glued to anything, nor do I feel insecure about any changes that might take place. I welcome an end to this all if that's what should be. I don't mind that. In fact, I would rather quit while I was ahead. Yeah, there's no need in overstaying your welcome.
First of all, I compliment you on your work with Sidney Lumet in Running on Empty. And I thought, River, there was something interesting. With all the work, television, commercials, feature films you have done so far in your life, aren't you about to celebrate your 18th birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know of many people who will remember my birthday, and that's really nice of you.
And you have a large family, and I hope they all remember.
Of course.
Lots of gifts from your brothers and sisters and parents.
Yes, indeed.
I wanted to point something out.
Sure.
With all of that work, Sidney Lumet, who was himself a child actor in the Yiddish theater in New York, through the golden days of CBS television drama, is a teacher, and we know a distinguished filmmaker, often referred to as the reluctant auteur, or the filmmaker with a conscience. Sidney Lumet taught you things, technically, about the camera, the lack of self-consciousness, and the actor's awareness of where the camera was at all times. How did that come about, River?
He taught me that?
I thought it was something that you said Sidney Lumet had given you that other directors so far might not have given you.
Oh, definitely. He is very spontaneous in his directing, and calls for that in the acting, you know, and there's not a lot of repetitive stuff, a lot of takes. I mean, it's very organic, I feel, and what's the word? Candid. I think, you know, pretty early on. I mean, you don't get to 4 takes with Sidney, which is really nice, and most of them are 2, 1, and he's really, really good.
Let me ask you something else about the actor working and being aware of the progress of his own work. When you and Richard Benjamin were working together on Little Nikita with Sidney Poitier, Richard Benjamin, who you described as a nice guy, very calm, very quiet on the set, was reluctant to show you the rushes, or for people who aren't in the film industry, the previous day's work. Sidney Lumet was very happy to show you and the other cast members the rushes. Are there advantages, River, to seeing the rushes for the actor?
You know, it really depends on the character and the role that you're playing. In Nikita, it was appropriate because Jeff is supposed to be completely disillusioned with his whole life, completely torn in between this and that, and the rug basically has been pulled out from under him, and that's kind of the feeling I get when I don't see rushes. And I spoke to Richard beforehand about that, and he let me see 2 scenes in rushes, and that was fine. I was very, you know, happy because it was appropriate for the role. But for something like this, or for something like Mosquito Coast, I saw the rushes on, and it works fine with me. I don't get self-conscious with them at all, or it helps you stand back. When I see rushes, I'm not there as character watching the rushes, because then that makes you self-conscious. If you're there as River watching something that you're detached from, it confirms who that character is and just makes that image more vivid in your mind, so you can go into that, and it helps me a lot. It really enforces my character.
One of the reasons that Running on Empty touches the heart and the emotions is the on-screen reality of the relationship between Christine Lottie, Judd Hirsch, and River Phoenix as the son. What did you know about Christine Lottie, first of all, before you began this movie? What did you know about the woman and the actress?
I didn't know much about the woman. I knew, well, I heard a lot about, you know, all the guys I'd ever known, like Christine Lottie. Jesus, you're working with Christine Lottie? Housekeeping was something that hadn't come out yet, and I had seen her part that she, what was that with Goldie Hawn and
Swing Shift.
Swing Shift.
Jonathan Demme.
Yeah, I had seen that, and I had saw something else on cable. I forget the name of the film now, which is awful of me. But well, I mean, everyone refers to her as being like a great actress, you know, and so my hopes were already right there as far as being secure with, you know, who was playing my mom. So I was really.
And Judd Hirsch.
And Judd, I grew up watching Judd practically. Whenever we had a television around and we could get the local station, we would flick on Taxi. In fact, recently the only station we get now where we live is, it's all fuzzy and messed up, but we get it, and we're there at a certain time every night to watch Taxi, and it's great seeing Judd on Taxi. I love that. That show slays me. But anyway, Judd was great to work with, and I'd known that he was versatile as far as an actor and wasn't just a sitcomster, that he also had done Ordinary People and, you know, a lot of different films, and I was really confident, and especially after the first 2 weeks of rehearsal, we all meshed and blended so well together. The chemistry was really good, and the communication was really good, and it was really good, so I was really happy.
River, while your film debut may have been with Joe Dante in Explorers, as a Canadian citizen, I'm curious about, not only because of the impact Rob Reiner's Stand By Me had on all of us as moviegoers, but you worked with Kiefer Sutherland at a turning point in his professional life.
Mm-hmm. Was
there a friendship? Have you spoken to each other since that movie?
The last time Kiefer and I spoke was on looping for Stand By Me, I think. Or no, actually, I met him in a restaurant in Los Angeles somewhere. I have not spoken to him, although there's a film that I'm now looking at that he stars in, and so, I mean, there's a chance that I might be playing along with him. But no, I haven't talked to him, but I really do like his work, and I stood in awe back then when we did Stand By Me. I mean, he had this vibe and control that was just so definite. I mean, you just wanted to be able to walk in his shoes as far as, he seemed like a real secure guy, you know, really in control of everything, which was really cool.
Well, River, while you go off to do your role in the new Indiana Jones movie, I compliment you on your work for Sidney Lumet on Running on Empty. Perhaps we'll see you, like your co-star Martha Plimpton, sometime in Toronto, making a movie.
I would love to be in Toronto. I'd love to visit Canada.
Good, then you can bring your 12-string guitar and play that song you wrote about you and Martha.
I wrote a song about Martha and I
thought you composed a composition that had
During
something
Running
to do.
on Empty, I wrote a song about the characters, Danny and Lorna, and did a little 24-track demo on my 17th birthday, and it turned out quite fun. It's kind of like a vaudevillian type song with piano and cello, and it's fun.
Well, now you must do one for your 18th birthday and keep this going.
I already had done one for my 18th
There you
birthday.
are, and we will meet again. I thank you.
Very nice talking to you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I like to be treated like the character, really. I just want to have it really easygoing and casual, and that's usually the way it is. It's pretty equal. I mean, you know, we talk to the director, and, you know, it's not like they treat me like the kid, and you know, this is the kid, and this is what you have to do, act like this. You know, it's pretty mutual.
My name isn't Michael. It's Danny.
They showed that scene on the Today Show, and it gives it away. Honey, please don't show that. That is just not the thing to do. Okay, show it if you have to. I don't care. What am I going to do? I'm just a salesman. I'm just selling this movie, and show the scene.
You can do what you want to. You can tell your dad anything. I don't care. I just needed you to know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Aside from Running on Empty, I'd have to say that Mosquito Coast is the top on my list. I mean, I got a lot of enjoyment out of working on it, and I feel it's a good film.
It was not an easy life those first weeks in Geronimo. It was no coconut kingdom of free fruit and grass huts and sunny days under the bam, under the boo.
Watch the strings, kids. Good morning, ladies.
It's kind of sad, I guess, but there was some symbolism that the general public didn't have the time or were too lazy to uncover.
Look, I'm the black sheep of a super rich family, and I've contributed a substantial amount to the maintenance of this dump.
The concept in doing it, for me, was that it was very diverse from Mosquito Coast, and originally it was intended to be more of a comedy.
Are you going to be all right?
Don't worry. Worry.
It was okay, though, because I was a victim in the other films, you know, this kind of victim / tragic hero, and this was now like I was victimizing.
I want to stay.
So, you know, we'll see. Time will tell. I'm really happy acting right now. I'm really not recognized that much. You know, I can always do the Cousin It imitation and get through the crowds now.